Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Lock-In. We are finally here. Today is our grand final, a best-of-5 between the winners of our two brackets, Alphas, Loud, and Omegas, Fnatic. I am Dash. Joining me on the desk today, it's Mimi, Achilles, and Bala to break down all of the action. This arena is packed to the brim. The showcase, a show match already delivered, and now we're just hoping our best-of-5 does the same, Bala.
You know, it's funny because I felt like up there when I was casting the show match, we got a little taste of what the crowd is going to deliver, but we know how much louder it's going to be once the players take the stage and once we get into that map.
3x the decibels, at least. We've already seen so many incredible matches here over the past few weeks, so many memorable plays and clutches. Before we get into today's matchup, I wanted to ask the desk to relive a few of those top moments from throughout the tournament. So, Bala, I'm coming right back to you to kick us off. What was your favorite moment from Lock-In so far?
I think just continuing with the crowd theme, right? It was when Loud beat DRX, when they took to grand finals, because it was just such an electric moment. I mean, literally, as soon as RB whiffed these shots, sorry, Seth, as soon as RB whiffed these shots, Loud took the last 2 kills. It was crazy in here. It was just such an electric atmosphere. You could tell everybody was so happy.
It just meant so much.
There's such a chance here for a Brazilian team to take the crown on their home soil.
Look at that. I mean, so well deserved. The entire crowd behind them. My favorite moment of Lock-In was you making Seth relive that moment. Seth, what about you, buddy? What have you brought to the table?
Surprisingly, it's not a DRX moment here because I'm still a little bit scarred from the things that Bala just brought up. But it's actually the series between EDG and 100 Thieves because it was one of the most hyped ones that we had up until we got into the semifinals. EDG, especially on this final map of Pearl, were pushing 100 Thieves to the very limit. It did. I mean, it took everything. Stellar being able to spray through the smoke, finding 2 kills to be able to get them back into this one, to be able to take this map, get into overtime, and then run it from there. EDG put up a hell of a show. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they and 100 Thieves can do in the future events.
An incredible series, to say the least. Mimi, what'd you bring to the table for us?
I want to narrow down to one specific moment. This also kind of centers around the crowd, but it was King when he won his 1v2 and he stood up and had that moment where he just like embraced the crowd in what he was able to do. Again, this is kind of a taste of, I think, what we can expect today. I'm sure there will be some insane individual moments, and I'm sure that the players will be popping off, just kind of feasting in the moment of being in front of the crowd, as King did here.
And when it comes to personalities popping off in front of the crowd, I feel like we got lucky with the 2 squads that we have taking to the stage today. Plenty of players who would be willing to take opportunities like this to show off, to throw that smack talk across the stage to their opponents.
I mean, especially the likes of Boaster. I'm expecting to see if he's got some crazy moments. He's going to be standing up, he's going to be receiving those boos, and he's just going to be thriving in it. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Before we break it all down, let's take a look back at how we got here. For Loud, it's been a fight. After a 3-map overtime banger against their old foes at NRG, they had to go all the way to map 5 to take down DRX.
It was such a close game here. It was incredible that Loud was able to come back because they started off, looked incredible map 1 and 2, but DRX did what they do best, made it a comeback, made it look possible. And then we got to map number 5, we got to Ascent, and Loud, they did not crumble. They proved that despite being tested so heavily by DRX, that they can still come back, come up with new ideas, and close out a close series like that under the pressure of this insane crowd.
And for a team with 2 rookies on it, essentially the 2 players that came in, they're the guys who actually made the clutches against NRG happen. They're the guys who led the charge again to stop DRX from coming back. It's those things that are so impressive with Loud.
Now, Achilles, on the other side, you've got Fnatic, right? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Choke Fnatic. They've heard it all before, but this revamped squad here has had a perfect run so far in Sao Paulo. Yesterday, delivered a 3-0 over Navi.
And this was something that we had never really anticipated. I mean, across the board on the desk, we were all expecting Navi to be able to take that. Myself, Mimi, Hypoc. It just felt like Navi weren't able to find their footing whatsoever. Not sure if it was an off day or if it was Fnatic really just kicking them off the back of their heels. They were completely on the ground the whole way through, whereas Fnatic never really gave them much options or many chances. 2 close maps, 1 blowout, and of course that blowout was on Navi's map pick. Fnatic just looked fierce.
To me, it just felt like Fnatic being incredible. That was the moment we expected them to crumble. That was the moment we expect them to fall flat. And it was probably one of the most dominant games that they've played this entire tournament against Navi of all squads. I mean, Fnatic really is the EMEA super team.
They're making people double, think and rethink their predictions coming into today, I'm sure, with that performance that they had yesterday. Another really important note coming into this grand final, no matter who wins today, we will have our first ever two-time champions in Valorant.
We've been hunting for this for so long. Every single tournament we think, okay, the defending champions have a chance to do it again. Are they going to be doing it because they look so good winning the tournament? But there's so much turmoil in terms of teams going into the next tournament. So to see 100% getting a second trophy for one player in Chronicle or 3 players in Aspas, Sadak, and Les is just incredible.
It's pretty cool to know that regardless of what happens, we're going to witness history today. Let's talk more about Loud, the hometown favorites. They're coming into this grand final as returning champions, but with a slightly different lineup.
Yeah, Loud does have the chance here to find the first ever back-to-back in Valorant history, but I think it's made even more impressive because this is not the Loud from last year. This is a Loud that came in, picked up 2 new rookies that most people doubted would even be able to match what the former players on this squad could do, but they've been able to not only break through that expectation, but make it to another grand final in front of their home crowd, and now for the first time ever, it could be an organization winning 2 in a row.
Run it back. Now I'm just hoping that we get a Phoenix on one of the maps.
We've had every agent played at the event. Reina was the last one to make it through, so hey, you never really know, especially when you have a good amount of tape at this point. You're in the grand final. Both teams have been able to study each other. Maybe something like that Phoenix throwing a curveball. That play was not intended. Maybe it could happen.
Put the
It's
kibosh on it before
happen.
it even happens. Ball, if we're going to start working through individuals on that Loud roster, you start with none other than Sadak.
Yeah, I think you have to, because this is the guy who rebuilt this team, right? He lost 2 star players, 2 players who you really expected to have a say in this team in this year that continues, and he's just insane. He's IGLing and he's still fragging at the same time. He even took up some duelist rules this time.
I mean, remember the turmoil that happened when everyone found out that the Loud squad that won Champions wasn't going to be staying together. Everyone said, oh, that's it, this org is done.
Yep.
They lost Sasi, they lost Pancata. That was 2 of their best players. Sadak's just big jelly. He's like, I don't care. I've got these rookies. I'm going to train them up. I'm going to make sure that this works. And so far, it is looking great.
And so much of 2022 Loud's storyline around building up that roster was we have Sadak, we have Sasi, you have the coach Bazooka. But this roster was just Sadak as the leader, having to rebuild, find new talent, and form something new. He's been able to do that, something that I don't think any other IGL has been able to do at the same level.
Achilles, it's going to be Sadak making the calls. It's going to be Aspas looking for the duels, though. Will he pop off today? That's one of the big questions.
He had a really rocky start in the first couple series, versus NRG, especially a little bit of a slow beginning, but then the guy just has been building steam, and then from the outset against DRX, he was crushing. If he has another hot start like this, then by God, they could be looking at a 2-0 start against Fnatic right off the bat in this set, because Aspas was absolutely tearing DRX apart initially.
Yeah, that he was. And this guy is the big match player of all big match players. In the grand final of Champions 2022, this guy is what pushed Loud over the line to win that. And here again, he's coming back into the fray, putting up similar numbers, has a fantastic team behind him again, and it feels like Aspas is on the verge of repeating history.
All right, Ball, let's move on to the other side of the matchup. Fnatic, a team that hasn't been to the grand final in quite some time.
Feels like almost 2 years at this point.
Exactly,
and
2 years.
Having another chance is great for them, because I think a lot of people finally, when we saw the roster get put together, we thought this is a chance. This is a chance for Boaster and Durka to finally do it again. They've had opportunities where they looked like the best team in the EMEA, but they just weren't able to make it through. So for them to have this opportunity is huge for them.
It was Masters Reykjavik the first time they found themselves with the opportunity to take a title, ended in tragedy, 3-0 defeat to Sentinels. But there's a weird amount of poetry going on here with their own run at Sao Paulo.
Yeah, I mean, still to this day, Sentinels, the only team, this original iteration of the roster, the only team that has made it into a grand final and taken a trophy without dropping a single map. Fnatic could do that today. I think it's very challenging, but I think rather than replacing the immaculate run, they'd just be happy to get the trophy itself.
Yeah, and for the core of this team, the guys that were playing on that Reykjavik stage, Durka, Boaster, their coach Mini, this means so much to them, because over the last 2 years, since that happened, they have been through 5 different main roster players, have been trying to find the right mix. But here at Lock-In, it seems like they have the perfect recipe. Pick up a star-studded duo in the offseason of Leo and Chronicle, keep the great strategy and ideas that you've always had, and it's just working, Ball.
Yeah, and I think as well, something that's super impressive is Fnatic has gone through pressure stages multiple times. They've beaten Sentinels, crowd favorite. They've beaten Furia, crowd favorite. Then they go up and they face Na'Vi as well, and it's just ridiculous what these guys are able to do because that was the narrative coming into this. How are they going to maintain and go up against the pressure? I think the super team has helped Boaster and Durka do that flawlessly.
Trying to do to Loud what's been done to them. Let's talk, though, about what this Fnatic squad is doing differently than what we've seen them do before. What is their game plan here at Lock-In?
I think what's been interesting about their game plan at Lock-In is that they've stuck to what they know, which is coming up with really good ideas and having fantastic game plans. For example, you look at their Fracture. They're really trying to optimize things, grabbing orbs constantly to have these really cool set plays around ultimates, always buying half armor. They've always had that nerdiness, but in this tournament, they've also been able to show the adaptability and the ability to perform under pressure like you were talking about.
Now, we put a bunch of focus on Aspas already. We'd be doing a disservice to the Fnatic squad if we didn't also take a look at Durka.
I mean, it's just another star-studded player in Durka, somebody that you can rely on to have those pop-off moments. I mean, similar to Aspas, we have seen Durka starting off really hot. Then when he moves over to something like the Raze, he's widely playing entry. He's still gaining information for his team, but he's not putting up the same kind of figures. But when he is on that jet especially, this man has to be respected. He demands it.
I think the parallels that we actually put on Fnatic and Sentinels' run to have an undefeated record so far in maps, yeah, maybe we won't get that today, but Durka is on pace to actually have a similar performance to TenZ, which has been held up there as a benchmark best of all time tournament performance, and Durka is there. Durka is there.
What a title to steal if you can make it happen here today on the grand final stage. We only got about a minute or so left before we get down there, so it's time to put it all on the line. Predictions from the three of you down the line. Mimi, I'm starting with you. Who takes it today?
I know that this is Loud's home crowd, and I know they have a lot of advantages going into this one, but I have to predict Fnatic. It seems like they are unstoppable right now. 3-0ing Na'Vi yesterday convinced me.
Okay, Fnatic call over here. Seth, who are you going with?
I'm going to differentiate. I'm going to go for Loud here, honestly, and that's because I was browsing Reddit. There's a nice little post there, and it turns out that the team that has eliminated an All Riot event since 2014, the team that has eliminated Cloud9, has then gone on to lose to the inevitable winner of the
this
tournament.
Man put his predictions in there. What you got? What you got?
Fnatic, and I think this one is probably the toughest match to predict the entire time, but I'm going to go with them for specific reasons. Their adaptability, they've already played up to the pressure. I think they can take Loud with the home crowd still here, and Boaster's going to lift the trophy.
Couple converts from yesterday's series, but we do have a split destiny today, which tells me we've got a great matchup ahead of us. It's time to get the match started. 30 teams have fallen, and after this best of 5, only one will remain. Today, we get our champion. It's Loud versus Fnatic. The Lock-In Grand Final starts right now.
Loud have done it! What can't this squad do?
Cara, nunca senti isso na minha vida. Nunca me imaginaria numa final assim tão rápido.
A 3-0 for Fnatic. Stunned.
Every day since then, we've been clawing and trying our best to make it back to that.
And the pursuit of greatness persists for Fnatic.
And now an opportunity to be the first team ever to lift 2 trophies in Valorant.
Siento que eu nasci para isso.
It started out with 32 teams, and now it's down to 2.
Loud, they're the favorites, but we're coming in to win.
This time, we'll try to end it.
Fnatic ain't here to mess around. We're here to play.
Quero deixar o Sadak orgulhoso.
Eu tô aqui pra ser um exemplo, e esse exemplo vai ser lendário.
Give him a chance! Unreal performance in favor of Fnatic. Bolster with 2, Bolster with 3!
Loud. So you've taken the trophy in Istanbul from Althea. So we're gonna have to return the favor.
Essa é pro Brasil, rapaziada.
faz o N e vamos para essa final.
Trying to spray it down, Boaster does have the man of it, a right gun in action, okay. Cool, calm and collected, that is the name of the game.
Valorant has shown us that many aspire, but few attain, and the pursuit of greatness persists for Fnatic.
looking for the back-to-back. Fnatic with a second chance. It all comes down to this. 3 map wins stand between our teams and being crowned king here on the stage in São Paulo. And there is no preparing yourself for the biggest crowd in Valorant land history.
And it is so fun to see Not only the players on Loud played to the crowd, but also the crowd to be ruthless in their approach to how Fnatic walk on. Alfear's 17 years old, they give the most boos out of anybody.
Fnatic has played in front of big crowds before, but this is something different. This crowd does not want them to win a round. It is so heavily swayed in the favor of Loud, and for them, it would mean the world to win here in São Paulo.
I mean, the swings in volume in this arena, depending on how the rounds are going, depending on how the maps are going, is going to be completely and utterly stark.
Yeah.
One round taken by Fnatic, a singular kill, and this place can be silenced in a moment. Loud are looking to prevent that. They want to crank it up to 11.
Not that I would suggest this, but I'm pretty sure you could watch this series with your eyes closed and you'd still know the way it's going based on the crowd noise. We're diving into the map. Vito's Bala, I'm coming to you first as we wait for the reveals.
Yeah, I'm super interested to see what Loud Vito here. It should be Haven. They've not been playing this map. And also, Fnatic should be sticking to Pearl. I think that's such a big advantage for them throughout their entire tournament. Every single team has been relying on Pearl, Loud included with that Harbor Viper comp. That's a big advantage.
It is, and both these teams will ban away their opponent's strongest map in one way. Haven out for Fnatic, Pearl out for the side of Loud. We head to Ascend as our first pick here. Loud, this is interesting to see them choosing into this one so early into the series. I almost expect them to maybe try and show something special in the Lotus, something they had cooked up, but not to be. Fnatic go fracture the second.
That they do. I mean, just fresh off a victory. This was the final map of the series just yesterday versus Na'Vi. Granted, it was a little bit closer. 13-11, they were able to get that win. They're still feeling confident in the fracture. Pick and Split now going to be coming through as well for Loud.
That one's a weird one for me. Split is a double duelist for both sides, and I really don't know how those compositions go up against each other because you put so much into your stars. So that's one that I think could go either way. Lotus here, we haven't seen Loud play it yet. Fnatic, we had a chance to see it yesterday against Na'Vi. It looked pretty solid.
It did. There's big question about what Loud wants to play there. Map number 5, we will land on Icebox. Fnatic, historically one of their best maps, but here at this tournament, we've seen Loud come out with that Harbor composition and look fantastic there.
I think Fnatic is super happy that even though Icebox has historically been one of their best, this is the place where they had Harbor Viper. This is the place where Loud can lean into the strengths that they've been working on all tournament long. So we start with Ascent where they get that Viper, but we still don't get that Harbor. It's a little weird because, like I said, they're getting out of Pearl. Loud has been using that to their advantage the entire time.
And I love this Viper composition we saw from Loud last time. The ideas they had combining the snake bite with other utility, it was fantastic. But Fnatic has seen it now.
Map 1, Ascent, Prime Gaming Agent Select. Let's see what the teams have brought to the table.
They've seen it, and that's why I'm curious to see if they continue to run it. We'll find out in a moment here as we get ready to go into Sonic's pick. And yes, they are going to be sticking through with this. I thought maybe they would change it up, flash it once, get that win over DRX, then swap, but no, they're sticking through.
I think this comp select right here, this agent select, sets the tone for the entire series. Both these teams are not known to be switching up comps too often. So to see this right off the bat, maybe that is a sign for things to come. Maybe we won't get any agent select changes throughout the entire series.
It's going to be interesting to see, but we start this map on Ascent. Fnatic on the defense. This is a map where where Durka can feel so incredibly comfortable to take space, to op on this defense, and for the side of Loud, they're going to have to shut him down.
Yeah, for me, it's still all going to be about this Jet v Jet, Durka versus Aspas. Let's see who comes out on top.
The teams are ready to load into the map, so we're about to send it over to our casters. As we do, we're sending love out to Pansy, who can't be here with us today. And as we do, we send it over to Brennan Sideshow for the call. Gents, take it away.
32 teams whittled down to just 2 right here, and the stage is set, Josh, for a grand battle between Loud and Fnatic, and without doubt, no doubts in my mind, we are going to see history being made here today.
It's guaranteed. There has never been a team to be able to acquire 2 titles in Valorant. No player that has lifted 2 trophies. But at the end of this match, we will have somebody, either Chronicle on the side of Fnatic, or that Loud core of Sadak, Les, and Aspas, who won Champions in 2022. And what a way it would be. The crowd are looking forward to it. The desk has set it up. That Jet battle is what I'm going to be keeping my eyes on too. Loud and no slouches on the attack side, and it is a long way to earning that trophy for both of these squads.
Long way indeed. 5 potential maps for both sides, eager to write that next chapter in their history books, but a pistol round is where it begins. This is a very cautious approach for now, but an explosion. Dog's going to be leading the charge. Aspas following right behind it, and Nothing in their sights to stop it, but Nana swarms at his feet. Aspas moves one of them. Alarm bot spotted. Turret as well. That's going to be clearing the backside of Jenny.
And you're going to see Fnatic in general on this map go for set retakes. They don't like to flood in as the plant is going down. They like to be very structured, make sure there's nobody tree, clear out anybody that could be backstabbing, and they're going to realize here that all 5 players are towards site and A main.
So peace of mind towards Cat. Knife against it. Flash up the top. Can't detonate it though. Suppressed. Fragment Nade going to be clearing a part of that one, and now here comes the waterfall right down and out. Fragment Nade finds it, and a fight's being taken. Fnatic laying claim to the map, laying claim to the site. It's all down to this. Less with the most to do, trying to spam it, and Boaster starting things off. Man's going to need a security detail with attempts like that, but a pistol round 1 nevertheless.
What a way to approach it. What a mentality that showcases heading into round 1. Boos echoing out in the arena, but that speaks to me that not only is Boaster dialed in, but he's willing to get up in Loud's face early. Fnatic are all, you know, laughs and jokes, smiles when it's outside the server, but you can tell in those interview pieces, when Boaster's talking, his whole Valorant career, his life for the last few years has been focused on getting this title. And the trophy now is within touching distance, but like I said, the journey there to earn it is going to be an arduous one today.
So close, you can almost taste it. Okay, crossfire setup. Lovely opener here for Loud, but a return from Durka. Paranoia. Latches onto his face, might have been friendly fire, but okay, Aspas completely separated from the rest of his team now. Just getting a little bit awkward still. Bit of spam through the walls. You've handed the rifle over to Aspas with the Bulldog. This guy can make short work of many targets.
Awkward for Chronicle too. It's a good 0 point. It finds both of them at close mid. But Chronicle, if he had committed to that fight, would have been in dangerous territory if they had turned on him. It's a weird situation with Boaster committed. Everybody weak on Loud, but you can't afford to give this round away if you're in the Fnatic camp.
All it takes is that one reaction. Crosshair onto the head to be found, and
Alfie missed it.
Advantage turned around, yep, and the timing is missed. Alfie none the wiser. Contact is the name of the game, and well, the angle's watched. Alfie falls, and it's up to Chronicle. Turled up, bides his time, waits it out. Here's the plan, but denies. Now he's got backup, teammates helping him. And it should be safe hands. So much to do for 2 years. Life in his hands with 6 seconds remaining. Absolutely unwinnable unless Boaster gives away his life, but no. Scurries away, tail between his legs. But it is that round win that he was hunting for.
And what a difference. Boaster immediately forced to make an about face on his mentality from round 1 to round 2. Goes for the knife swagger kill in the pistol. And like you said, Brent, forced to just escape with his dignity intact. Look at that record all time from Loud. I said no teams won 2 titles, but Loud are different. They've only ever lost to 2 squads. The old crew, the current NRG core. They've only lost 4 series ever. 34-4 the record. Here comes Durka.
Tiles crunch play, but no one to receive the brutal end of that one. Instead, it's going to be up to Leo. Here's the Trailblazer. This is an instant response. Dash forwards on top of Generator now. Cuts up the angles. And who's that? Bunkered down into the back of the site in hell. It's Alfie, and up close and personal, just the way he likes it. But a trade nevertheless. That's going to be the return of fire. And do they want to try and get aggressive? Doesn't look likely. Paranoia might have set something up. A bit of spam now.
Equal damage exchange on both parts. Les is on the lurk as well. He's got a pinch coming from Catwalk. And Boaster might not be ready for this.
Falling down so low. This last layer, final element to it. TP into the site though. It's a faster play by Fnatic still. They want to try and take this one before they can set up. Loud anchoring the positions. Kawazine unknown. Did not know where the players were coming from still. Doubled up in hell.
Here comes Les.
And Loud are just demonic.
Great backstab play by Les there, and Fnatic committed to the round. That is not a bonus in round 3. Look at him coming through the pinch. I love what Boaster does on these retakes, the way that he always is teleporting into the smoke. But that means that he's not there to watch the pinch coming through, the backstab, the lurk play. Less is good for it, and that applies pressure early. Fnatic drop down onto an eco. That's all of the damage that was done in round 2, coming back to bite them.
So answered in kind. Fight trying to be taken here. You can see that util once more clearing the way. So Loud are feeling quite comfortable grabbing that orb. Steady as it goes.
Loud love to put a focus on these A-site hits. They're very drilled with them. Even when Aspas didn't perform his best, their attacking protocols and the set plays, the teamwork, it's all really good.
It's their bread and butter. Look at this. 3 of the players are Loud just funneling onto the one side of the site.
They always have multiple players facing. It's very difficult to anchor the A-site against them because when you swing from Dice or Generator, you're going to be facing 2, 3 players from Loud, all just slowly getting into the site and watching for you. Here's Les again.
Oh my goodness, shots going a little bit wide, but Swarm into position. Doesn't clear the corner. Oh, Leo, double spray down. Tries to pick up a bit of an upgrade, 18 bullets, and my goodness, it gets hairy, but eventually closed out. Safe hands from Sadak, the IGL of this squad.
A small limiter onto the economy, but nothing that Loud can't shake off quickly. And this map, of course, the first one in the series, is favored towards Loud. They've looked better, and it's one of the teams that's been the best of all time with the former roster, and they don't look like they're slowing down now, versus Fnatic's Ascent that was really dodgy in the past, but has just been slowly refined with the addition of Leo and Chronicle. Leo fighting here with Durka in mid, looking to break a dart for him, perhaps. This Viper Orb that gets bloomed is really tough for Durka because it can drop at any time. It is not like an Omen Smoke, and he just, just gets out the way.
They seem to know, though. They know the position and the dash into the wall. What a blunder. Loud quick to capitalize, and look at the squeeze that's occurring. Leo has to back up, has to back away, and he does claim the one. Still Seekers now. Used to try and take that market position. Loud wondering what's going on, and Leo goes for it. Okay, Hunter's Fury up close, and a flash play! What is that? Fnatic cooking up plays out of nowhere.
Incredible coordination. That's such an unorthodox position to ult from, but that's Leo to a T, isn't it? Always doing something new on Initiator. And now the pressure on these final 2 players from Loud. Barely any health between them. Spike in hand, that's about the only saving grace. What is going on there?
Clear, the players are low, still Leo just not quite ready for it.
Maybe looking at the mini-map or looking towards tiles, communicating, not focused on what's going on in front of him, and it's opened a gap.
Oh, and they've cleared their way through. Look at that, Viper wall up still, the angle's not watched for, and Alvia this time will not be caught unaware.
Great stuff. Very diligent. And what a set play from Fnatic. They were throwing those out many times in the semi-final against Na'Vi. Not necessarily on this map, of course, but on Fracture we saw such awesome set coordinated aggression. This team has now taken all of that set play excellence from Boaster, from Mini, and added to it the intuition of players like Leo and Chronicle. It's a dangerous mix. It's working so well for them at this tournament.
The ability to cook up plays like that on the fly. No hesitancy. Well-earned round for Fnatic now.
So Chronicle's moved his way over to B, playing with the Odin there to look to deny Les's lockdown, I would assume. A bit of a passive setup too from Althea, but it's the A side of the map that's getting tested, and that is really common for Loud. They're going to end A frequently. Mid-control, A splits, A bursts. They always have enjoyed that side of the map. Feels to me like that's where Sadak is the most comfortable.
Given 2 years in an advanced position, he has his ult to reposition at a moment's notice. So not too worried about him just watching that, but it looks like setting up now for bit of that tree control. Trailblazer. Once more, Aspas is the one who's making sure that he can claim and vacuum up all that space. Revealed though, still has to hug the wall. Paranoia goes so wide. Durka Tries to go for a bite of the apple, but he's pushed back nevertheless. Now we see it. Viper's Pit drop down. The strength of this composition comes from this big ultimate. We saw DRX getting faltered time and time again, but this time Fnatic are not going to be deterred. They want to try and take this one, jumping down onto the site. Up top, and it's Durka who claims it first. That jet head-to-head, manifest.
Tuiz has ulted behind them, and the spike is not inside the pit.
But it is chaos. It's anyone's game right now, anyone's round. Tap of the spike, seeing if they can force the positioning. It's Chronicle, unaware of any sort of players in his sight lines. The pit drop down 2 to 2v2. And Boaster's taking it, half of the defuse, gets out of his life, and Leo, what is that? 3 in a round, and he just closes it out. It's more than safe hands at this point, Josh. The man's pulling them ahead.
He's unbelievable. This 19-year-old player, the prince that was promised of initiators from EMEA, has just made such a difference to this squad. He's their best player. He's the best player in this tournament from Fnatic. And that is a very, very tough bar. When you're playing it with players like Durka, Alfia, Chronicle, being the best player on the squad is absurd. 11-4 currently, dominates Haven, rules Ascent. 35% clutch rate in the tournament, by the way.
Ridiculous. Almost unheard of. And what is the answer gonna be from Loud?
This is bold from Durka. The Viper Wall makes it very difficult to challenge this position, because if it goes up and down, anyone could be behind it.
They're crawling. A lovely one claim, still shock dart, Chronicle, bit of a bailout. Hold down a mouse one, and they all come tumbling down.
And you saw there as well a gorgeous shock dart. To be able to knock Kawanzine out of his Trailblazer. I mean, Leo's got it all, the utility, the game sense, is all there to match. And what does Tuiz do in this position?
The arena holds their breath. Praying for that miracle. Not handed any easy ones. Alfia quick to shut it down.
Fnatic have so many ideas on the defensive side. Leo's frequently going to be throwing these really deep darts that inform rotates, and when you have a team like Loud that loves stacking on one side of the map, running a lot of 4-1 executes, those darts get really good value. And so far too, we've just seen fantastic coordination between, especially, I want to point out, Bren, the 2 new players on Fnatic. The Hunter's Fury and the Flash, that's Leo, that's Chronicle. That's not the core players on Fnatic. This round too, the shock dart to cancel the Trailblazer, and then Chronicle spraying everybody down with the Odin. Those are the 2 new guys. And when I looked at this Fnatic squad, and to be honest, the Loud squad too, I thought both teams would need more time to win a trophy, because each team had made 2 roster moves in the offseason. But I've spoken at length about Leo. Chronicle, though, I want to wax lyrical for a second about this guy, because he has been so close to winning 2 trophies before. He was widely regarded as the best player in the world at the end of 2021, when he won Berlin and almost took champions in the same year. But his 2022 season was just miserable. He got denied that LAN by 2 milliseconds, if you remember that game. Dreams crushed under the weight of political forces out of his control, and he was just left as a loose end after LCQ. But his individual impact is insane for Fnatic, and he's close to being the only repeat winner in Valorant history. Chronicle has an unreal story that it feels like he's close to a culmination of some kind of arc in this tournament.
Loud are going to be doing everything to deny that. They've got their eyes also set on a similar goal, that back-to-back title, a trophy lift for them, especially with this Loud core. Early presence. S'mores, a similar approach. Loud, they do this time and time again. If you've been watching their games, they love to play heavy and hard here for this A main control.
Suppression onto Kawanzine. They're normally going to follow the Trailblazer if they do hit A. So that's going to keep 3 players from Fnatic on this side of the map. Durka's operator doesn't really have a great way of being cleared. Seems like a good position to play, in my opinion.
Off to the side. The Trailblazer. A wider swing from Sadak, lucky to get out alive, and he does a decent amount of damage. Bruising Durka, but not dissuading him. Going back for more. Darlighting him up. How does Sadak claim that one? But it's an even fight. Made a bit less so. Fnatic are returning fire. And a bit of a pause in the round. Boaster teleports behind them. Less with the jump peek, he knows. He's got to be aware of this. Kawazin's alone on the, just on the side planning. There's no backup. Every angle has to be watched for, and it's just looking nigh impossible. Doors closed in their face. Lockdown is going to be pushing them deep into wine.
It's a heavy
positioning known.
Heavy commitment of an ultimate, but that just shows you how determined Fnatic are to break the economy again of Loud.
Look at the layers of smokes here. Weapon out, flash connects, though, trying to return it, spray down. Boaster with a backstab.
It's amazing stuff. 2 ults used, but they're both perfect. Boaster never overstepping, never overflanking, just causing chaos in the ranks, pulling less back, and then he's exactly there when his team needs him, playing anti-flash, ready to swing. What incredible value Durka got with the operator too. It's one of the major factors here that other teams haven't punished Loud for. There is no Sova in this comp, right? There's no drone to be able to go in, there's no recon dart. The Oppa can hold that angle for a long time.
Yep, certainly. Trailblazer's not going to be pushing you off that angle. Now emphasis placed, look at this. Durka wants to take the fight straight down mid.
Now this is harder because he's going to have smokes in his face, guaranteed.
Indeed he does. Loud not messing around though. Knocked down to the weaker weapons. And here we go. Anything but patient. It's fast. It's rapid. They want to take control of this one. Stun onto Boaster. Where is he TP into? Cuts across the angle. There's a smoke in his way, and they are none the wiser. Loud getting silenced here. A tap of a spike. Rotates around. It's a little bit awkward, but guess what? It's a triple for Boaster. Durka. All reliable. And 2 at the end. That's the cherry on top.
Fnatic looks so good. This was supposed to be Loud's best chance of being able to start the series out on a good footing. They're insane on Ascent. You saw the stat earlier. Nobody ever beats them on this map. 1 loss all time. It used to be Fnatic's worst, but they look so prepared. And the teamwork has just kept building on Ascent with the addition of Leo and Chronicle. Everybody else looks so much better too.
Lauda steadily running out of room here in this first half. 3 more rounds going to be standing between them and the end of it.
And their defense side is very good. Their defense side is normally better on Ascent, but Loud still needs some breathing room.
Because right now, leaving no room for error with the start of this best-of-5 grand finals here in São Paulo. Same play as before. So dog to clear, counter spam from Aspas. No rewards gained from that one still. It's now a contact play, and this is incredibly risky. Thought he was looking to inquire about pushing that smoke. No, backs away.
I think something like that might be a good idea, though. From Loud's perspective, they need to break down these defensive protocols by Fnatic. Throw something new in there.
Drone to reclear. Boaster's on a high ground angle here. Spots just Kawazin. Now the Seekers.
Great spam.
Again, Boaster. It's good for it. Knows that there could have been a player pushing up behind it still. Field going to be active now, the Seekers. One after another, layering that util. Pushing forwards, and they want to fight for this. A bit of running gun, Fnatic! Lovely job done, still need to deal with Leo. Ready and waiting, he's been performing miracles. Jumping, hopping around the side, but Les is that extra guy. And he's making it so damn hard. Still, the jiggle with the movement, Alfier traded. Down to Chronicle, and how does he want to play this in a 1v3? Odin's not ideal for it. Money in his back pocket, though. Could play this if he wants to, but so many angles watched, and a cautious tail from him as he tries to clear it, but Loud to get that additional round.
And that is what I wanted to see from Loud. Make the pathing unusual. Pushing up there towards Heaven is great, because those players on site don't quite know how to react. 2 players in Heaven. Boaster didn't realize they were pushing towards him. He assumed it was an A split. Throwing in a little curveball there is excellent from Loud. It gets them back in, build an economical cushion, and now you can hit them with some kind of fast A hit or an A split that ends in a Viper ult. And if you manage to get 4 on the board, this isn't a bad attacking half.
Fnatic going to be aiming to stop all of that and more.
Durka keeps looking for these opportunities in mid, despite the fact he's got the Viper Orb in his face. And Boaster, what a bold play this is.
Oh, this surely, oh my, timing is everything. Didn't quite have the window of opportunity. It's up to Chronicle to see if he can, again, push them away.
And the unforced errors creeping in here from Fnatic are going to let Loud back into the game.
Leo, anti-flash position, turret. At his back, broken though. Now to Util, dodges it to the side. Leo though cannot withstand it. Up to Alfie, two-player swarm his position, claims a second. Not too bad, but it's Loud all day long. Sailing away in this round. Pop flash play, Chronicle not allowed anything additional.
Well, after the misstep from Boaster, all the rest is excellent from Loud. Sending that flash in and dealing with Leo, who's normally good for one in that situation, but it's the punish onto Durka that I really love. The awareness to know that off Leo's contact, Durka's going to updraft and go for some kind of knife play. I think that's an excellent idea from Fnatic, and Loud are already one step ahead, and they have turned this. Round 10 and 11 have made this a good half.
They'd be loving it if they can get the final one. 5 rounds on Ascent attack. Beautiful beginning.
Look at how difficult it is for Durka to be able to get any space in mid or B main. These are normally areas where Jet Hoppers thrive.
And as the wall fades, it gives him the sight line. Durka quick to meet his match here. Lockdown going to be placed. Hunter's Fury from the back of the site means that is taken care of. Answered in kind with an ultimate over the top. That's Aspas dashing. Once more Leo's there. And it's a bit awkward, it's a bit strained, but 2 years is out on an island. No help from the rest of his team, down to just 2. It's looking all but sealed for Fnatic to get that 8th round. Tadak, reset, lovely job.
Is that a bit of an overheat from Leo, perhaps?
Tries to find it, but it is just left up to the IGL, and he will be denied any opportunity of making the most of that. 8-4, that's going to be that scoreline.
Very good half from Fnatic, but I do think Loud recovered it. It's back into winnable territory here. Having said that, Loud are expected to win on Ascent. It's their best. Has looked a bit dodgy in the past from Fnatic. It would be a fell blow for Loud to lose their home ground early. Pistol round is going to mean so much.
Absolutely will, but the first half locked up here, and hopefully a very long grand finals. Let's send it down to Yinsu, who's down on the floor.
Thank you very much, Brent and Saisho. I'm joined by Buzz from DRX. It's great to have you in the venue today, Buzz. What did you make of the first half we just saw?
I think Fnatic played really good, but I think the Loud showed their weakness because they play with the 2 smoke storm. So the attack of 2 smoke is not really good, but Fnatic really played well. They retake well and everything was good, but I don't know how it's going to be in defense, but the Viper is one of the strongest agents in defense, so I don't know how it's going to be, but I don't know, yeah. But Loud could win this, I think.
Oh, well, obviously you played against Loud already and in front of a crowd that was very similar. They were not cheering for you, they were cheering for the other team. So what was it like to play in front of the home crowd here, and how much pressure do you think the Fnatic players are under right now?
Honestly, I really enjoyed a lot with the Brazilian crowd, even though they are not supporting us. But it was a really good experience and it was really funny. Even though we lost, I also enjoyed so much. But I think the Fnatic players, they enjoying as well. So I don't worry about them.
How difficult is it, do you think, to just ignore the crowd? Like, what did you do?
I didn't ignore the crowd, but I just enjoyed, like, even they are not supporting us, but I like, okay, they're supporting us. Yes,
Oh, you gotta pretend. You gotta pretend. Yeah. Well, you guys heard it from Buzz here. He thinks Loud they have a chance in the second half as they move to their defense. Bren and Saisho, I'm gonna throw this back to you.
It's always been their stronger side. Now Loud going to be in comfortable territory as we look towards that second half of map 1 in our grand finals here in Sao Paulo.
The defense side is unusual with this composition as well. Sadak uses these snake bites extremely well. And that is exactly where I was going to go with this too. Fnatic are yet to drop a map at lock-in. They have been perfect so far. We'll see how the pistol goes, but I'm pretty sure everybody expected this finally would be the time where Fnatic met their match.
Brave from Aspas. It almost looked like he wanted to take the fight to them. But no. Dodges around, plays around their own Viper orb.
And it's a strange setup here, actually, from Loud. They only used this Viper Wall a single time in the game against DRX, and they ended up losing that round. Obviously quite difficult to get through, though, if it is an A split.
Fnatic seem to have the read of this one, though, still. Look at this setup. Potential trap play, less if you're going to be taking contact, or at least the turret is. There's going to be a flash on the backside of this one. Turret sees it, flash play, and it's a double swing. Collapse! 2 fall. Fnatic left to scramble.
What a great trap. I love that play by Loud. Adding something that we didn't see throughout the entirety of their game on Ascent. A brand new play that Loud bring out for the pistol round.
Snakebite relieves that.
The spike is on Boaster.
Mid. Wow, that's an important fight to win. He's still here, he's still waiting. What is occurring? It's pandemonium. The knife kill from Sonic, and he's still alive, he's still kicking. Time running low though, 12 seconds. It has to be fast, it has to be loose. Paranoia, not gonna have that tool in their back pocket for this one, and the plan has to be stuck inside the smoke out here, covering. They don't have control of the back of the site.
They don't know if anyone's here.
That's why they're trying to clear it. Still seem to be a little bit more comfortable now. Sadak so low. One stray bullet would have found him. Could have evened up this battle, could have evened up the fight. And Boaster, maybe a little bit too overexcited there. Alpha, how much can you do? Viper's Pit around the side, flash blocks, Paranoia though, layers on layers.
How does Loud recover that? What did I just witness? An insane trap play off the rip to make it a 5v3, and then this. Sadak's bringing a knife to a gunfight in Catwalk, who comes out on top.
Unbelievable.
Leo's left rattled. Boaster should have done enough to equalize, but that is an absurd round. And Loud are back to their classic defensive setup here. The Killjoy utility will pivot from A to B, but you see the Viper Wall used for flood retaking, set retaking over on the B site, and these snake bites very difficult to get through.
That's brutal. What are you going to do, disrespect it? Sadak is up close, holding the angle. Backs away though, just in case there was any sort of presence.
And the whole reason that Sadak is close there is to check and see if Boaster has TP'd across.
Dart flash reclearance.
This setup, though, from Loud doesn't have a great ability to retake A main in the mid-round. There's no KO there to be able to reflash it. So now that Fnatic have taken A main, they probably have it for the rest of the round. So they can leave, and Loud will probably never have great information about whether or not Fnatic could re-hit A. I like how Boaster's playing this one, but you've got to remember, Fnatic is still at a fairly heavy gun disadvantage here.
Absolutely. Not favored when it comes down to any of those duels, any of those gunfights. Game plan seems to be just farm up the orbs, take control of main, make sure that they can build up these ultimates for a future battle where they're going to be a little bit more even.
And Fnatic have been very diligent about that. Mimi on the desk was talking about it when it came to their Fracture gameplay, but they do it on all of the maps.
Almost there. Triggers. No play off of it, but it's just that spam.
It's
Down
a fake.
20 seconds.
It's going to be an A split.
Spike is leaning towards A, but they've got to deal with Sadak. Dart at his back still. He's cool, calm, and collected. Removing the util. And they're running out of time. This could be a disaster for Fnatic. Overcooking this one. Can't be saving these pistols. Not into this round. And Sadak will answer kindly.
Very clean round from Loud. Prime game and flawless. Puts them into a position to start this comeback. Have they got some kind of bonus round cooking here? You know, it's not like Sadak was able to build up to his ultimate there. even with the eco kills towards the end. So there's nothing major to craft the game plan around. Okay, we're back to the A Viper wall, favoring it a lot more than they did against DRX.
Possibly just worried about Fnatic doing their homework.
So this lineup from Chronicle is going to clear out Wine really heavily. And what I noticed watching the Fnatic attack is that they are so lineup reliant. All of their players have lineups for everything, but it means that they start their executes a long way away from the site. And that gives the defenders just a brief extra moment to react.
Throwing through a timing. The potential is there for Boaster. Looks like he might want to go for this one, but no. Viper wall in his face, pushes him back. Jump spotting from 2 years. No one in his sight line. It's so delicate from Fnatic. Waiting around, a bit of presence shown though. Alarm bot's cleared. Knife in, Boaster. How do you win this one? Well, his team's going to be helping him out. Choke point contained, doubled up position. Aspas. How do you bail yourself out? Dash active. A bit of help for them, but already the damage is done. Fnatic have claimed this site. Going to start to get this plant down. Still, play to be made. Dashes forward, cuts it up. They know Alfie is here, and he loses the battle. Handing over a rifle. Aspas is deadly. Vandal in his hands. Flick of the wrist, dodging, weaving, and buckling underneath it. It's Fnatic though to come out on top.
Decent round from Fnatic, creating some mid-pressure by breaking that alarm bot. And economic damage against Boaster's team, it doesn't really do too much. This Fnatic squad is so committed to running light armor in pretty much every round to avoid having to eco as much as other teams. Definitely something to keep your eyes on. Maybe you can spot those moments where a Phantom headshot potentially does more than it otherwise would, but overall, it means that when they come into rounds like this, even though it was a decent bonus from Loud, Fnatic is still looking pretty. That is a big push.
He's alone, he's isolated, stunned up, that is disgusting. No right to win that one. Could barely rattle off any bullets, yet still he does.
It's a massive opener. Cowanzine using one of his flashes and peeking behind it to clear tiles. 3 players are still going to be leaning A on the defense because of all of this information that Cowanzine is getting. But at some point, he may overstep. I mean, look at these players from Cat. They're going to see him.
All about that fight. Overstaying his welcome in tiles. Cowanzine, he did get good information, but pays for it with his life. Fnatic, massive advantage heading into this round, and the Stampede is going to start rumbling its way over towards the B site.
This has got to just be a save from Loud. You can't get the B retake working, especially with Sadak's wall committed on the opposite side and the IGL himself in the spawn queue. Fnatic are going to get a freebie here. And Chronicle one away from the null command being online. There's a few errors creeping into Loud's game here, right? Aspas is not having a great game himself. 5 and 12 currently, and looked really timid in round 15 when he was taking that fight with the Spectre. Just dancing around, not willing to really fight anybody on even footing. Of course, with the inferior weapon, but I normally expect Aspas to be more confident and aggressive than that.
Brimming with it.
And now in this round, you know, you should really be able to take Alpha out like that. Fnatic's individual prowess, the EMEA super team, the brilliance exuding from each of these players is carrying them over the line in moments like that.
Raw skill. It's been a clear difference maker, as we've been mentioning before. Fnatic, seems like they broke barely a sweat at times. Listen, don't get me wrong, pushed here and there on a map or two, but not dropping a single one to make their way all the way to this grand finals.
The weaponry is not great here. Cowanzine with a Guardian, Sadak with a Spectre. Aspas still taking the operator over to A main.
Patience.
I would imagine here that Chronicle's going to want to claim this ult orb at some point in the round. But the A-main setup is difficult to break with the one-way, with the snake bites. Risky for Cowanzine, but he does a lot of damage thanks to the Guardian he's got on board.
Goodness me. Yeah, Alpha, yeah, walking away, a bit wounded, limping. Dash though from Aspar, starting to fade. Seems to be aware. Boaster's up to no good, and he's lurking, creeping, crawling in mid. Is that a fight that's about to be taken? Smoke to block off some sort of angle.
I mean, this
Still
is going
held.
This looks like it's going to be a B hit here. With Boaster going down, it's all up to these players in B main.
In that 4v5, Seekers instantly. Dart lights him up, and well, an easy target. Basically, you have paper mache standing between him and the bullets. He's no longer living. Plant's gonna go down, no command, pushing him back, so no abilities to go for that fast flood retake here.
Yeah, but here's where we get to see the Viper Wall in action. How do Fnatic set up in the post plans to still support each other?
Oh, alarm bot, you can see them trying to get the warband kill. It's a cute play, Alpha yet spotted, 42 health. And now he can just bide his time, he can wait it out, he can be a bit of a nuisance for them. Still Loud looking to try and take this one. Players are low though, and another dart revealed. Leo set up, and how do you clear him out? Just absolutely bunkered, time running low, Spike. Barely any time left to play with. What is that? Sadak making the most. Leo, how do you hold on? 33 health, but he's done enough. The players are Loud, trying to vacate, trying to save their weapons. They will do just that, but purely consolation, Josh. It's Fnatic who win the round.
And Fnatic get themselves up to an 11-6 lead. Knocking Loud's economy back down again. And 2 rounds away from taking Loud's home ground. I think Alpha does so well in this round too. Once he gets spotted in mid, to just delay. Because it burns so much time off the clock, and eventually the clock was Loud's biggest enemy. Fraud is going to have some words with his team here. They're giving up early picks, losing those initial battles. And then not quite able to hold on to the site. We were taking a look at the Jet head-to-head early. You expect Aspas to be able to get into more positions where he can control the map. It feels very much like Fnatic are choking him out. 6 and 13 here. Didn't play incredibly on an individual level when Loud went up against DRX, but that time Sadak's calling, the game plan, bailed them out. It is going to have to be a masterclass on the defense side to recover this. And it's a big blow. It's a BO5, so a long way yet. But Loud should have been the favorites in map 1.
Oh yeah.
And things only get more difficult for the Brazilian hometown squad after this.
Not a great start to their hopes and dreams of trying to grab that back-to-back title, to lift the trophy once more in front of that hometown crowd. Fnatic are going to be joyous though. This is a great lead for them. 11-6. Knife at the back. Kawazine, no chance of him using any util. This is fast. Okay, Fnatic not wasting any time. Moving forwards though. This Viper Wall is awkward. How do you maneuver your way around this one? Still 2 players anchoring it to the back, so Loud comfortable for now. Still hot flash play, and there's the response. Chronicle there. Judge in the back line. Fearless from Boaster.
7
Takes the fight anyway. Doubled up though. That is going to be nice. Making it easy for them. And Leo, a minute left. But the game plan has crumbled. Whatever timeout Loud has taken, paying dividends.
Leo's ice cold in these situations. It's a very difficult one to win. But you can see that he's happy to be patient, disciplined. See if Loud are going to make any mistakes and give him a free one.
30 seconds, off angle by 2 years is far too good. No way! The movement from Leo doesn't make himself an easy target, and now he's found it down to that 1v2. Spike in his hands.
And the defenders spread out. They didn't realize the spike was down.
One less problem to deal with, but a swing off the turret. That's discipline.
Well played there by Loud. a necessary round to get themselves back into things when their economy was looking poor too. Only a judge on Sadak, but he still made things work. Sadak now with Pit too. So getting that into a crucial position, maybe this can be leveraged into a little run, a little spree of rounds here. With how disciplined Fnatic are in the first 30 seconds usually, you know, all of these lineups to clear different areas and give them information. It does feel difficult for the more aggressive players like Aspas and Kawanzin to get their value early.
Trailblazer used, sets him up on the angle, Alfie is spotted.
But a smoke from Boaster, really nice to bail him out.
Yeah, relieves it. Free to cross. Now you start to see that Viper's Pit. We were talking about this earlier. That is a difficult one to bypass.
It's horrible. But at the same time, Fnatic could group up and go for an A pop or a B pop, and they just don't have to deal with it at all.
Drone use close. Aspas. Disrespect shown. There's no shot, man. He's still got the dash, but all that util lobbed at his face. Has to back away now to the rest of the site. Lockdown placed, not in a spammable angle. Nothing for this one. Hunter's Fury leads the charge, leads them in. Jumping, skipping, straight past the nano swarms, but Dirk has taken so much damage, and wow! Aspas trying to avoid it. Anchoring into the back of the site. It's a lovely collection of utility, but it's still Loud with the edge. Plant down though. B main control held by Leo. Boaster, a close corner. Loud are gonna have to clear this one.
They have a flash, but do they decide to put it in that place? No, doesn't quite catch him.
False information potentially. Does Sadhak still clear this one? Knife against them. He does, runs out, no trade in sight still, Les is there, and Leo's made it dangerous. But down to Chronicle, 1v2, can he do it?
Time is ticking.
Time has been bought, no util in his hands. Back of the site cleared, finds an easy fight, down to 2 years, and this is so dangerous. Has to stick it, it's the percentage play, but the running gun forwards. And Fnatic find themselves on that map point.
Incredible stuff there from Leo from Chronicle. Just the amount of pressure that Fnatic are under and still able to generate these rounds is absurd. First of all, great ult combo there, right? Baiting Aspas into the corner, knowing that they'd left a gap and punishing. Love to see that. And then Leo tucks himself into logs, gets a snake bite at his feet, and still manages to get value from the position and set up Chronicle for the 1v2. Loud now with a massive ditch to dig themselves out of.
Durka, he's not wasting any time, is he? Overstays his welcome towards main, though. That was contained nicely. Still, Leo, God, man, this guy's util.
He almost got two.
He's knocked him down quite low, hasn't he? Nana Swarm. Moving forwards, Boaster, that's a TP close. Clears a lot of it. It's all going to be closed now as well, so the site given up, but Loud are setting up for a faster play, and it has to be a win.
What is the plan here from Fnatic to counter the lockdown? They must have known that it was available in the round, but they didn't have anybody backstabbing towards Catwalk. This round feels a little rushed from Fnatic.
Yeah, they don't have the foresight quite. It's given Loud this opening. Spike being defused, half on it already. If your plan is to spam, it's not a particularly good one. 2 years already gained half. Still, he gets taken down.
Flank as well coming through.
Down, and here's that reflank out here. He might be the difference maker. He might just shut it down, but no. Kawazin, the trust in his teammates, extends the play for but a moment.
And that is a classic Loud retake. Very aggressive, leave one player on the spike. They did it with Tuyis, and then Kawanzin to get the other half. But that one's brutal. Everybody on Loud falls. Their economy is in no better spot. Each one of these rounds is blood, sweat, and tears just to get 1 point on the board. Steal one round away from Fnatic, who has sat still at map point with 4 future rounds, future opportunities to convert.
No room for error. That's what Loud are dealing with.
But for Fnatic too, they can't rush things. That round was sloppy. Durka just looked like he wanted it over. He was already thinking about Fracture.
So this time it is Fnatic who are taking their time with it. No funny business, no hard fight towards A main. Loud instead just waiting. 3 players anchored onto A. Covers in jump spotting as well. Getting that information in the mid-round.
Now, why do I get the feeling we're about to see something silly from Boaster? He's picked up the ult orb to get his Omen ult online, and the spike's headed in the opposite direction. Is this just him controlling A main and applying some pressure and meeting back up with the rest of his team? Very possible.
Seems likely. Pixel angle. Sadak doesn't have the gun for the job, does he? Spectre. Barely even a tickle, no damage done. But backs away now. Out from the rest of his team. TP in play, and there's that ult that he picked up. Dash forwards, cutting it across. It's a coordinated play. It's a coordinated strike. The Fnatic turning the arena into a library, but Loud have got to do the most now to try and upset that. Knives in Aspas' hand. What is the Q he's waiting for? Dashing to the side, spots a player, pings it out. 1 kill found, still got the knives. An upgrade in the weapon.
Les has cleared out B main as well.
But it's a 2v3. Make it a 1v3. Aspas just nigh impossible to keep them in the map. On their favored stationary ground, still held down. And that 13th round is claimed. Fnatic off to a fantastic lead.
First blood in the series for the EMEA super team, showcasing here in São Paulo that home territory means nothing. Home ground advantage means nothing. They battled against the crowd, and they battled against Loud's favored map pick, and come out on top, still undefeated. Still yet to drop a map. Remember that they got 3-0'd the last time that this team went to a grand final. This is their first opportunity since our inaugural LAN in Valorant for Boaster to lift the trophy with Durka.
All the way back, 2021 of Reykjavik. They got their sights set on that trophy to lift it. Is that dream come true? But obviously, any more maps left to be played before they even start thinking about it.
And I think you've got to give such incredible credit to Leo. He's been their best player in the tournament so far, my bet for tournament MVP, and he was the difference maker in so many of these rounds.
Top of the scoreboard, that consistent factor over and over again. These highlights just iterating it. Fnatic have come prepared for this fight. A little bit bloodied, but still looking comfortable. That's going to do it for map number 1. We'll see you just after this for the continuation of the series.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.